Hey guys, thanks for joining me for a new video. Today we're doing a design tutorial. Now, if you missed my top 16 Amazon merch t-shirt design style video, I'm gonna put a link right here. You should check it out after this, but I'm gonna borrow one of the designs from that video. We're gonna do the circle design style where we cut out the middle of the circle and we add words there, because this design style has been really popular lately. I'm seeing more and more of them creep up into the top 100 t-shirts when I'm doing my research for my Sunday video series, top 5 niches of the week. And this is actually really easy to design. So what I'm gonna do today, or what I'm planning on doing, is a Photoshop and Photopia tutorial, because it should be pretty quick, pretty easy. And then at the end, I'm gonna show you where you can go to basically get pre-made circle graphics done for you. Yes, I'm gonna plug our friends at All Sunsets and All American Graphics again, because I love their work, and because, I mean, hey, not everybody wants to design from scratch. I get it. I'm gonna show you how to do it so that if you wanna know how to do it, you can reference the video. But if you just want to go to the end and use All American Graphics, it's like 20 bucks to join. So that option will also be available. But anyways, I've been talking for long enough, plus somehow it's raining again. This is like the third or fourth time in the last 2 weeks where I come out here to record a quick video clip and it starts raining on me. So I'm gonna go jump on my computer, we can get started. Thanks again for joining me, guys. So this is the design style. You see it behind me. We know this sells really well on a bunch of t-shirts. If you've been doing any merch research lately on Amazon, you've seen quite a few of these, definitely in the best sellers, because politics are crazy right now. And this design style certainly lends itself to being sold as a political shirt. Now, I'm not saying you have to rip it off exactly as you see it, but it's just really the circle with words in the middle. You call it like a hamburger, where between the buns you can put your words. It definitely sells really well, and you can see some people put their own spin on it. They put stars on top, 2020 in the bottom. Just, you know, again, you probably don't want to copy it exactly, but just get creative in your own mind of what you think would work for the niche you're attacking. If you go after a political niche, I'm sure you can take this design style further and come up with your own variants. All right, real quick before we start, let me introduce myself. I'm Ryan Hogue. I've sold over $1.8 million on Amazon to date, including $260,000 on Amazon merch. If you want to follow the link in the description, I've got a free Amazon merch mini course, 7 lessons delivered over 7 days, help get you started. I also have an Amazon merch Facebook community. I'd love to have you there. There's a link in the description. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can follow my progress as an Amazon merch seller. I try to be transparent about my FBA income, merch income, KDP, print on demand, AdSense, etc. All you have to do is subscribe and you can follow along. Also, just wanted to mention, I've got a full Amazon merch course that I wrote, over 60 lectures. It's a full knowledge transfer, everything I've learned in almost 4 years in the program. If you'd like to check it out, you get the most value when you're relatively new to Amazon merch, but there's also intermediate and expert tactics in there as well. All right, so here's the design style that we talked about that we are going to be looking into recreating in Photoshop and Photopia. I'm gonna go over to Photoshop first and we can begin this live demo. All right, guys, let's start with Adobe Photoshop. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a new layer, which is behind me here, blocked by my chair. But I'm gonna create a new layer, and then on the left-hand side toolbar, I'm gonna go to the elliptical tool, elliptical marquee tool. And I'm going to draw a circle while holding Shift so that it is a perfect circle. All right, that looks good. Next, I'm gonna go to the paint bucket tool with my new layer, and I'm going to fill it in. So now I've got a circle object. Perfect. Now I'm going to switch the elliptical marquee tool to a rectangle marquee tool, and I'm just going to guesstimate. I mean, there's more exact ways of doing this, but honestly, as long as it looks about right, I don't think the customer is really going to notice. So to me, that looks just about right. Or you can just undo it, Control Z, and adjust it if you think you're a little bit off. But I'm doing this for kind of speed and efficiency here, because I am a little bit late to do something right after I finish this video. So next, what I'm probably going to do is split the 2 layers. So I'm going to cut the bottom portion and paste it. So now it's on a separate layer. And I'm going to give that a color overlay and make it red. All right, I think that's a good, like, vintage looking red right there. And I can even rename the layer to bottom and move it underneath the top layer. And I'm gonna rename the top layer top, and I'm doing that over here in the layers part. I don't know if I can zoom in. I wish I could, so I apologize if it's kind of zoomed out. Next, I'm gonna do the top half, color overlay, and I'm just gonna drag the slider to be blue. Let's see, a little bit of a lighter blue. All right, I like that. Boom, so now we're looking very patriotic, very red, white, and blue. And really, what's next? We can add some text, which I've already prepared, impact font text, which is one of my favorite fonts to use. If you want to make it taller, you can, while selecting the text layer, you can hit Control T and then hold shift, and you can kind of resize it up to be taller. You can do something like that. I just wrote the word president. I mean, you can write whatever you want. You can write Trump 2020 or Trump 45, you know, whatever it is you want. Biden, Joe Biden. Will that fit? There you go. Joe Biden. You could even watch my older video of the curved text tutorial for Photoshop and add some text that says like I'm voting, and then in the middle say Joe Biden. All right. Now, why don't we add some stars? So in Photoshop, for some reason, I know there should be a star in the shape tool, which is on your left-hand side over here. There's a custom shape tool. However, I was looking before I started recording and I didn't see any stars on mine. So they have hidden themselves from me. So instead, what I did is I went to Google and I just looked up PNG star. I got this one. I know you might think I'm stealing, but let's be real here. It's just a star shape. I'm not using the real graphic. I'm just going to do a color overlay and make it white. You can really do whatever you want though. So I like that for a central star. Next, I'm going to right click it, duplicate layer over here behind me in the layers tool, duplicate layer, star copy, perfect. I'm going to move it so you see there's two. And I'm going to control T and I'm going to resize it, make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to line the bottom portion up with the bottom of that middle star. Next, I'm going to right click the star copy layer and duplicate layer again. And I'm just going to move it to the other side. And Photoshop has like a little snap ruler in there. I don't know what to call it, but it snaps for you and it lets you know when everything's lined up. So I think that looks pretty good. By the way, you can select all three layers by just holding shift and clicking all three, and you can kind of resize them to make them smaller, bigger, whatever you see fit, but it'll do everything together at the same time. So it's a nice little trick there. And if you wanted to recreate the exact design, which I recommended not doing, but if you wanted to, you know, just duplicate this text layer here in the middle, bring it above the bottom portion there, and change the text to say 2020, maybe switch the font to something that's not the exact same. How about that? That looks fine. Change the font size and position it like right there. How about that? It's not too bad, right? I mean, that took, what, 2 minutes to do, maybe 3. Obviously, there's room to do things like you can take this text that we had made it taller. Well, you can also make it a little bit more condensed, and you can add additional text underneath if you wanted to as well. You know, like if we were to duplicate that other text layer that's already kind of small and maybe change the font size again to make it even smaller and maybe make it not as tall. And there we go. We could add a second text layer and say something is who I'm voting, whatever. You get the gist, right? And if it lines up outside, I mean, you have a couple different things you can do. What I would do probably is click the character pane, and where it says VA and it's got the horizontal arrows, one pointing left, one pointing right, you can adjust that. So I might do like -60, and there you go. It looks like it lined up on the first try. So that's pretty good. All these things are just like little one-off Photoshop tricks. Once they become second nature, you can kind of just whiz through it all pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, this design looks great. If we wanted to do one last thing, we could merge all the layers and then maybe distress them. So I'm going to select all the layers. I'm going to click merge layers. And then I've already got a distressed pattern on my channels tab over here. So instead of the layers tab, I use the channels tab. I've already got this like distressed grunge pattern ready to go. So all I really need to do is kind of expand it to make sure that it's going to cover the whole design. Then in the top corner, I go to select and I go to color range, and then I'm just going to select the black portion of the image. And it may be hard to see, but it's selected all of the black portions of that grunge pattern. Now I go back to the layers tab, click the circle design that I've done, and I can just cut. And now I've got a nice distressed looking circle design. If I'm ready to upload it, turn off the background layer so that we're done with our, editing proof, or I don't know what to call it. When you turn off the background layer, then it's a transparent PNG, which is what you need for uploading to products. And then when you upload it to a black t-shirt, it's going to look something like this. But for now, when we export, just turn off the background layer. All right, that's it for Photoshop. If I missed anything, if I went too fast, I don't know, just let me know in the comments. I'm trying to do my best here, but I know that it is not perfect, and one size certainly does not fit all when it comes to these tutorials, because I don't want to make them too long, but I don't want to make them too short. And yeah, you get the gist. All right, coming over here to Photopia. First thing I'm going to do, well, I've already done it actually, but I made a new layer up there. So I always want to do that. So I've got my circle object on a different layer. And it's basically going to be the same approach, guys. Got the ellipsis tool, hold shift, make the circle, boom, there we go. Take the paint bucket tool and fill it in. I've got red selected here, so we'll just do that. Perfect. By the way, you can hit Control D to deselect as a little shortcut. Next, I'm switching the ellipsis to the rectangle. I'm just going to cut out the middle. Again, I'm not too worried about making it perfect, but if you want to be, you can add like the rulers, the guides, the horizontal guides, and you can measure it out perfectly if you want to. All right, next, I've already got the bottom half red, so let's just cut the top and paste. Whoops, that pasted from my, that's weird. It pasted from, all right, wait, cut and deselect and paste. All right, there we go. For some reason, it was carrying over from the Photoshop stuff. All right, that top portion, blending options, color overlay, change the color to blue. That looks good. Same thing, text, add some text right here in the middle, change the default color to white, change the font size to like 600, center it, and say, you know, Trump 45. Now we can obviously change our font selection. There's a wide selection in Photopia for us to choose from. Off the top of my head, I don't really know which one to do. I really like the Gaglin font. I don't know that it's going to fit necessarily. Maybe we make it a little bit smaller there. All right, there we go. That looks good enough to me. By the way, we can always just kind of leave it where we think it looks good and then drag the bottom layer up and it becomes more of a semicircle than a full circle. But again, you know, we are the artists here. We can use our discretion to do whatever we think looks best. Again, you can also stretch the text, make it taller if you wanted it to look differently. And then it would basically be the same approach here. We can add our stars. So the star tool does in fact work in Photopia. You go to the custom shapes on the left-hand side here. And then if you go to shapes in the top, I don't know what to call it, like the top options bar. And the star is further down towards the bottom. Oh, that's cool. They have social media icons built in. I didn't even know that. Before I started this video, I went and hunted down the stars. Okay, there we go. They've got 5 different variations of stars as well. You can even do like a star outline here if you wanted to. First, let me change my color select. Oh no, fill, never mind. Fill up here, change it to white. Hold shift while you create your star to make it equal proportions, and boom, star number 1. And then same approach, you can just duplicate it. Whoops, make a copy. Oops. All right, I forgot. I always want to do Control T in Photopia, but it's Control Alt T is the hotkey. And now we've selected it and we can resize it. Oh yeah, and when you resize, hold shift, of course. Don't forget that part. All right, now we got the small star. Duplicate the small star. Move it to the other side. They don't seem to have that same guiding functionality, letting you know that it's lined up perfectly. So you would probably want to be careful. Like you can hold the arrow key on your keyboard. It moves very slowly when you do that. And if there's a better way, let me know in the comments, because I'm not exactly the Photopia expert. I definitely am more comfortable in Photoshop, but you get the gist. I'm sure there's a better way here. All right, and then same thing down at the bottom. I just like to duplicate my text layers, and it's just a quick way for me to create a new text layer without worrying about anything. So Trump 45, 2020, whatever you want it to say. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you can do a lot more with this design style. You can obviously also, remember how I dropped a video just last week, not too long ago, showing that you can swap this text out, make it say VAR1, and then activate AutomatePOD, upload a spreadsheet, and hit go, and it will just cycle in the words and download a bunch of different t-shirt designs. So I've already got a bunch of ideas racing through my head, and I will probably run my design automation tool as soon as I finish this video while I am away from my computer. But if you're wondering, you can actually run it while you're at your computer too. So it's very easy to use. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is, let me see, where did I put it? Right here, All American Graphics. So I wrote them, I said, hey guys, can you make some pre-made graphics with the semicircles here? And they said, sure. And within a couple hours, because they do take graphic requests, within a couple hours, they had made a couple variations of this design that we just created. It wouldn't surprise me if I hit refresh and maybe there's even more, who knows? All right, no more yet, but yeah, in the future, if you were to send them in a request, they would probably be, accommodating. They love new ideas. And yeah, this is, I think, $19.99 for a 1-year license. If you're interested, there's a link in the description. I really like this All Sunsets and All American Graphics project. That's why I support them. And if you want to use my link, you're supporting the channel as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped. I hope you sell some t-shirts using this graphic design approach. Let me know if you do, by the way. I love hearing from you guys that you watch these videos and that they actually help. And if you have any ideas for a new graphic design tutorial video, also feel free to let me know below. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Passive Income School is open. Enroll now at ryansmethod.com. Thank you.